I can't believe I'm making this video right now because I can't believe the subject I'm about to talk about. I am in total shock. This was just breaking news. I wish this wasn't true, but I have confirmation because I saw a post on Instagram from his wife. Jon Huber, who is currently wrestling in AEW as Brodie Lee, he formerly worked with the WWE as Luke Harper, has suddenly passed away. This is an unbelievably terrible, heartbreaking tragedy. It's shocking, it's sad, you just feel horrible for his young family. His wife, Amanda Huber, that's her name, he passed away today. He has 2 kids. That's the worst part about this. And of course his wife. So his wife's widowed now, she's young, and he has 2 young children. I remember just not too long ago he did a podcast, I think, with Chris Jericho, and he was talking about being on the road, being away from his kids, being his wife telling him to leave WWE, and how he ended up in AEW. I remember him just talking about being a dad. That really hit me hard. That's the first thing I thought about. I can't believe it. I can't believe Brodie Lee's gone. I can't believe this. This is just shocking. This is a horrible tragedy in the wrestling business. Is just something that's going to shock people. I can't believe this. It's one of those things where, it wasn't too long ago when you'd have wrestlers die young, but the way he died here, this is not anything to do with drugs. It's lungs. It's not COVID though. When I first, I read her post, her wife, she said this quickly. I'll read the whole post before I talk about, Brodie's career. Here it is. Amanda Huber. You can see her Instagram post. It's Mandahuber. My best friend died today. That's the first line. I never wanted to write out those words. My heart is broken. The world saw him as the amazing Brodie Lee, also Luke Harper, but he was my best friend, my husband, and the greatest father you would ever meet. No words can describe the love I feel or how broken I am right now. He passed surrounded by loved ones after a hard-fought battle with a non-COVID related lung issue. The Mayo Clinic is literally the best team of doctors and nurses in the world who surrounded me with constant love. On top of that, I can't express my love and admiration for the way All Elite Wrestling has treated not only my husband, but myself and my kids. She tags a whole bunch of people. Margaret, Stalvey, Mega, Ali Girl, American Nightmare Cody, the Brandy Rhodes, Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, Kenny Omega, Choni Khan, and the rest of the team at AEW have helped me standing and pick up all the broken pieces. I've been surrounded by so much love and incredible people. I can't tag them all, but they do know who they are, and I don't think they will ever know how thankful I am for them. Oh, that's the post. Matt Jackson wrote a nice post. He wrote under it, "You're a family forever. We love you." Oh man, this is just a total shock. It's one of those things where it's probably the most shocking news of the year in wrestling world. I mean, Pat Patterson died earlier this year, but he was 79. There was a bunch of wrestlers who passed away this year. Howard Finkel, we knew he was ill for a very long time. There's more, I just can't think of any right now, but this is just sad. This is really sad. This guy's 41 years old and he has a young family. Man, you hear so many people talking about him. People in the business. I saw one guy from the Dark Order talk about him. Just numerous people. Shad Gasper died this year. Remember that story? Hana Kimura dying. Just a horrible year. I mean, this is a terrible year in general. It's 2020, the year from hell. That's what the year I like to call 2020. Just the worst year ever, without question. I don't think anyone likes this year. It's the most miserable year of all time. But just in the wrestling world, so many big names have passed. This is the most shocking one. Just because we just didn't know. It's, I don't know what to say here. I can't even collect my words. I'm going to pause this video and just talk about the guy's career for a bit. Actually, before I want to get to that, all I hear is from people who know him just how much he loved his family. That's what I've been hearing about John Huber, the person. It just makes it even more tragic because he has such a young family. He married his wife. Her name's Amanda. I mentioned her earlier. She was Sydney Sin in wrestling, I believe. They have 2 sons. Brodie, who's born in January 2012. So, that's horrible. He's 8 years old. He's going to turn 9 years old. He's going to turn 9 years old in a few weeks. His father just died. What a horrible tragedy. And the second son is Nolan. He was born in December of 2017. And he's probably going to celebrate his birthday or celebrate his birthday early. Just, what a horrible tragedy this is going to be now. He has 2 sons. His sons, oh man, you just feel so terrible. His son Brodie and his son Nolan. Oh man, wow, that is just terrible. That's just terrible. Yeah, all I can say is just gonna give my condolences to his wife Amanda, his son Brodie, and his son Nolan. It's one of those things where, you don't know what the words to say, but I want to at least talk about his wrestling career because that's definitely, what we know him as. He got into wrestling as a backyard wrestler in 2003. Then he went to Chicago for a while. He's really made his name for himself on the indie scene in Ring of Honor when he became he was a part of the Age of the Fall, and he was part of that would be Jimmy Jacobs' group. There he really became a name again, or really actually that's where he broke out as Brodie Lee. People knew him as that. He was kind of like known as the trucker type of guy. That's what people knew him as. He went to the WWE in 2012. He signs a developmental contract with WWE, and this is back in Tampa before NXT. And we know what he became. He comes in 2013 is when they first debuted. They first really brought in the Wyatt family into the WWE, and it was Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan as the stable. They had a good stable together. They eventually debuted in August of 2013 is when they debuted. I remember that debut so awesome, man. I might just go back and watch. I know Bray Wyatt was the star of that group, but Luke Harper was very memorable, and that's when of course that was his name in WWE, Luke Harper, and he was great. Harper was great. People knew the faction was about Bray Wyatt, but Luke Harper was really broke out there. People knew how good of a wrestler he was. They never wanted to push him past a certain limit. I think Vince, for whatever reason, Vince never pulled the trigger on Luke Harper. I don't know what his reasons were, but he it seemed like he was going to get a big push. Every time he was going to get a big push, he kind of got the rug pulled underneath from him. And later, they of course they had the Wyatt family feud with the Shield, which was awesome. And then they split the Wyatt family. And he has a singles run for a while. He's Intercontinental champ. He has an incredible ladder match with Dolph Ziggler at TLC about 6 years ago. That was just an awesome ladder match. He continues to get pushed as a single star. Then he gets back with Bray Wyatt. They form a tag team. And then they bring in Braun Strowman. He joins the group. They have the 3 of them team up. And then eventually Rowan comes back, and it's the 4 of them as the Wyatt family. And then Harper gets hurt, and it comes, Wyatt, Rowan, and Strowman. And then eventually Harper comes back, and they put the Wyatt family together on SmackDown. And then I think that's Rowan gets hurt, and then there's a new Wyatt family. It became Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Randy Orton. And that is when Luke Harper was going to get his big push. I remember about 3 years ago, Harper's going to get his huge push. He's going to get a big push. People want to see Bray Wyatt, Randy, Luke Harper, and Triple Threat, and Harper's going to win the belt at WrestleMania. People are talking about that. It seems like they're finally going to pull the trigger on this guy, and they never did put him in there. He never got a match at WrestleMania. And I think that's really where the beginning of the end, for Harper was for a while. He continued to, for whatever reason, they never gave him that top spot. And for a while there, he went back with Rowan, and they became the Bludgeon Brothers, which were a cool tag team, but had a limit on that. He eventually left, and he came back, was the Bludgeon Brothers. They were a decent team for a while. Eventually, in 2018 is when he leaves WWE, and he talks about why he left when he did a very good podcast with Chris Jericho, which people should listen to right now. It would be really good just to hear this guy talk. In particular, the thing that you'll take away from it is when he talks about his family. That's what really hits you hard now, especially seeing his wife's post. Then he goes to AEW, and he does great. He did so many memorable things just this year. When I think he debuted in AEW. I'm gonna say 20. Was it? Yeah, I think it was March of 2020 is when he first debuts. He's the head of the Dark Order, and he immediately goes into a feud with Jon Moxley, who of course he feuded previously as Luke Harper against Dean Ambrose, but now it's Moxley and Brodie Lee. And Brodie and Moxley had an incredible match, just an awesome match at AEW Double or Nothing. It was just an incredible matchup. Moxley went over, but man, Brodie Lee they worked their asses off. There was that crazy spot when he went through the stage, and it was just a battle. It was just an awesome matchup. People then remember in August, this is just 4 months ago, he has another very memorable match when he had a match with Cody on August 22nd. He destroys Cody, wins the television title, absolutely demolished Cody Rhodes, the TNT title, that's what it was called. Destroys him in a squash match. It was a shocking moment. It was a really memorable moment. It really made Brodie Lee a star. Eventually, he continued to team with Dark Order, and him and him had a match, and that's where Cody won, and Cody won his title back. And after that match with Cody, that was his last match. That was his while. He took time off for undisclosed injury. We don't know what it was, and it was quiet for a while. We didn't know people started asking, where's Brodie? We don't know what's going on with Brodie. They kept it quiet. People knew, the AEW knew, the wrestlers knew, everyone knew about it. But respecting his family, respecting him, they kept it quiet, which was very professional for them. People don't need to know, and he passed away today. It was a lung illness. It wasn't COVID. His wife said this. It's not COVID-19, but it's an undisclosed. We don't know what the illness was. It was a lung illness, and he passed away. It's horrible. Just terrible. Just terrible tragedy. I'm shocked by this, as it's still very difficult to process. All I can do is offer my deepest condolences to Amanda Huber, Brodie Huber, and Nolan Huber. I am praying for you, and to Mr. Huber, thank you for entertaining us. We will remember you as Brodie Lee and Luke Harper. We're going to miss watching you on our TVs every Wednesday night. Rest in peace, John Huber. And may God take care of your family.